This just broke this morning. Legitimately, we were looking at what we were going to talk about. We're going through all of our potential options with our legal team, and this one came in real time. And when you talk about the quote-unquote war on Christmas, it is easy for your friends and family to laugh at you. You drive around, you see Christmas decorations, you see all the celebrations, you see all the snow, you see all the Santas. You even see quite a bit of Jesus and Nativity still, depending on what area of the world that you live in, area of the country you live in. It's not like Christmas has gone away by any means. However, there are areas, and there are really what I would consider to be communities that are easily dissuade or easily manipulated into limiting their displays in celebration of the birth of Christ. And every year this happens. Every year the ACLJ team has to get to work at the last minute to try to save simple things like a nativity scene. Simple things like Jesus is the reason for the season. Things that you wouldn't think are controversial anymore. However, specifically, again, in communities that are maybe underrepresented by the law, or maybe are underrepresented in general because, again, the people at the top think they can manipulate them. And that is, unfortunately, what has happened here.
That's right, Logan. And we, like you said, we got this case this morning. This is, unfortunately, a client that we've had to represent before the same senior living facility in Omaha, Nebraska. About a year and a half ago, we had to represent this same client because that senior living facility, as was becoming a trend around the country, were telling senior citizens that lived in these communities, you can't have a Bible study here.
Right.
You're living here, you pay to live here, but you can't have your own Bible study. It's not even a facility function. It's just individuals having a private Bible study. So we fought back and won. We won that for this client.
Last year.
Victory. It was in May of last year.
Yeah, which was even, I think it's a little different situation, but not really.
But here, what we find out today is that management instructed the residents to remove nativity scenes and angels from holiday decorations around the common area Christmas tree.
They have a Christ mystery, but they can't have Christ.
The management, Jordan, called it legally prohibited to have religious decorations. So fortunately, Jordan, this client reached out to us. We already had a relationship with this client because of it, and we are pushing back. We are getting a demand letter out today, instructing them of the law, that this is ridiculous, and telling them they need to reverse course, but also letting them know we will have to take legal action if you don't reverse course.
And folks, I want to make sure you take action here. This facility is called the Millard Manor Senior Apartments, but that is not the only place this company operates. So keep this in mind. Listen closely. If you have a family member in any kind of senior living, listen closely, because I think you should check on them to make sure that if they wanted to have nativity scenes, were they taken down there? If you visit, go see what the Christmas setup looked like. Is it missing something that would usually be there? I really want to put pressure. This company has been caught again harassing very vulnerable Christian people nearing the end of their life, and they can't celebrate Jesus.
And claiming that the law's on their side. And so it scares them. The law's not on their side for a privately run.
And it's like they didn't look back in their books and say, we lost this once. Why are we doing this? Someone in that company just hates the holiday.
Clearly.
That's right.
Clearly has a bias.
This company is actually is owned by Millard Manor Senior Apartments in Omaha, Nebraska is actually owned by California Commercial Investment Group, CCI Incorporated, and they are very large. They own and manage facilities in 38 states. We have the map. It's easier to tell you which states they don't operate in than to read off 38 states.
So if the one's in gray, you're okay. So
and I can read off the ones that it's not. If you don't hear your state or where maybe a family member is, then you're fine potentially. But you should, Logan. Before I go into that, you got something to say.
By the way, even if you're not one of these owned facilities, as Jordan said, check on your family, because there's a chance that this is happening beyond.
They're all owned by corporations for the most part.
Beyond what's going on in these specific facilities, there may be a bigger problem happening in senior living care. And by the way, senior living care, we're talking about 55 plus communities. We're not talking about exclusively hospice or end of life communities. We are talking about A lot of these places are just simply, like I said, 55 plus. We're not talking about exclusively these older, kind of what you consider of nursing home, if you will. This happens in a lot of these instances where still, when they start threatening you and saying that's legally prohibited, there are thankfully some of the citizens that live in these facilities saying, no, I know my rights. I've been listening to the Seculo show for the last 30 years. I know what I can say and what I can't say. But you know what? A lot of people don't. So make sure you check in on them.
That's right. So once again, if you or a family member is in one of these facilities, he's 55 and up, especially if you are in a state that I don't mention here, because this management group and ownership group is very large. But once again, remember, they told them, the residents here, they have to take down nativity scenes and angels from holiday decorations. Just days before Christmas, by the way. This is December 22nd, and they're telling them, you got to get rid of these. But here's the states they don't operate. Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi, Georgia, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. Now, Jordan, that doesn't mean you shouldn't check in, because this isn't the only management company we've had issues with when it comes to senior living facilities. But especially if your loved one is potentially in
twice. And so you look at that map, people that are seeing it. If you can't see it right now, you can actually go. I don't care about saying. What's their website, Will, so people can check the map?
It is ccinvest.com.
ccinvest.com. You can look at a map of where their facilities are. And again, make sure to call those facilities today if you've got a loved one there or a friend there, and maybe visit if you're close by. But don't just limit it to these companies. Now, this one is a bad actor because they got caught twice. So I really want everybody to know about the bad actors at California Commercial Investment Group, who obviously didn't get the memo up to their top executives that you can't ban Christmas during Christmas when you got your Christmas tree up. I mean, it's absurd. It's like banning Easter on Easter. That's what happened last time. So enough is enough. They are going after the most vulnerable people at the end of their life. There's a reason why they're at those facilities. And these kind of holidays, to them, it's not about the presents. It's about their faith in Christ and not able to celebrate that way. You can have a Christmas tree, but the baby Christ cannot be at the base of it.
And at the same time, we know many times those that are the bad actors, they aren't necessarily concerned that someone that's in a senior living facility is going to have the resources or time to get a law firm to sue them. But that's where we come in. And fortunately, as our client has now had to do twice, knows they can reach out to the ACLJ, Logan, and get our services right before Christmas at no cost to them.
That's right. It's only at no cost to them because people like you step up. So look, if you're looking for a place for your end giving, this is the time. You want to stand up for these people who are in these facilities, who just want to celebrate the birth of Christ as they show fit. No one's forcing them to put up a nativity scene. We're giving them the ability to show their faith, to even simply put up an angel. I want you to be a part of the team right now. Go to aclj.org. All your gifts are doubled throughout the month. However, do it today and stand up for these families, for these people that are in these senior living centers that really could use your support.